Ah. Nice breeze. Nice. Real fucking nice. Nice breeze, mate. Nice fucking breeze, mate. Thank goodness. Finally, a nice breeze. It was 106 today here. It topped out at 106. Fucking ridiculous. Well, dude, yeah. Yeah, I heard. I heard what Chris Chan did. I've been a big proponent of leaving Chris Chan the fuck alone for a long time. And now I'm even more convinced to stay the fuck out of that shit. Holy fuck. Gross. It just goes to show you, man, there is no bottom to humanity. There really isn't. Ay. Are you listening? Whoa. Sing it back. Whoa. What song is that? Why did that just pop into my fucking head? I remember that song, but I can't remember why. With a little sweet and sad uncertainty. You think the darkness is your ally. But you are only a tourist here.
You want the back title?
Sure, if you want. If you think people need to see my stupid face. I can turn on the least obtrusive light that we have. Oh, I forgot that door is locked. That sucks. She's gonna have to walk around. Zip zap. Knick knack, patty whack, give a dog a bone. There I am. There I be. Hello, Day. You finally gonna come out here? You finally gonna come out here and say hello?
I can't with this cricket.
What's he doing now?
He's outside the litter box. There's 2 litter boxes now.
What is his deal? Lap boy. Oh, that's definitely Cricket. I can't be mad at Cricket. Cricket could burn my house down and I'd be like, oh, you little scamp. You little shit. You burnt the house down and destroyed everything I ever owned. Come here, you. Give you a little belly rub. You little rascal. Oh. I didn't hear anything about the Avatar thing. I don't really know much. I know that there's another movie coming out. That's all I know. I don't know. I don't know about this. They're making TV shows shit. I'd rather not. But that seems to be what everybody's doing now. It's TV shows or bust now. Everything's going to be a fucking TV show. It's so weird to me that that medium has come back in such a big way, like episodic TV.
Yeah, like on the streaming services too.
Yeah, it looked like it was dead for the longest time. Like as cable became more ubiquitous and then Netflix started to become a thing, it was just like, dude, what? People are just going to watch movies, but I was wrong about that shit. I think more people are watching fucking shows on these streaming platforms than movies. It's weird.
You're not as much of a show person as I am.
No, I'm not. I'm not really much of a show person at all. I can get into them, but I don't know. I gotta be just right. You don't really like movies, see? Different strokes for different folks.
It's not even really like an attention span thing, I don't think. People binge watch TV shows and they'll end up watching longer than a movie.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just like a preference. Like, if I'm gonna spend a long time with one group of people, like multiple movies worth of time with one group of people, the show's gotta be fucking killer. Like, it's gotta be great for me to really be able to fucking get into it. If it doesn't hit me right, if I don't like an arc or a character, it's real easy for me to just eject out of a show. I really got to be like pulled in by a show immediately. A show's got basically 2 episodes for me. I figured it out. I will sit and watch 2 episodes, pretty much anything. But I usually know going in, I'm not going to like this. Like, I'm not going to like this show, so I don't. But if a show can't fucking grab me by the balls, and usually like the first episode, but certainly by episode 2, if it's like slow burning me by episode 2, can't do it. No can do.
I notice with you too that you're not someone that like has to know the end of a story right away. Like you'll stop movies in the middle. You don't feel like this pull, like I gotta figure out what happens right now.
I hate endings.
Yeah.
So I avoid them, actually. I like, actively will avoid endings sometimes because I have always had a long-standing hatred for how people end things. I think like the endings of movies are 99% of the time just like ham-fisted attempts to wrap everything up, and it's the hardest part of a movie, in my opinion.
Would you say it's like the best ending?
Aliens.
Yeah.
It has only really a couple of fucking seconds of shit that I would cut. I mean, I think that Aliens has the best final 20 minutes ever committed to film. I can't think of a better film when it comes to endings. The only thing that I would cut out of Alien is that crap at the end where she's putting everybody to sleep.
That is too like cliffhangery for you.
I would literally have ended it, you know, like when Ripley's crawling out of the hole after she just flushed the alien out. Ripley crawls out of the hole, fucking rolls out of the way of the door. I would have just ended it right there. That's where the movie is functionally over. But a lot of times people think like, oh yeah, we want to see the characters living happily ever after, and it's just like, no, we don't. No, we don't. Like, had they done that, I think Alien 3 would have been more well received, because the beginning of Alien 3, they kill Newt, they kill Corporal Hicks.
That you just saw having a happy ending.
Right. Which is like, you know, I mean, I guess it still would have been a happy ending if fucking Ripley would have won, but you wouldn't have had that, like, her tucking him into bed and all the intentionality behind that. Would have been easier, I think, to fucking buy that something else got on the ship with the alien queen. I mean, she brought an egg with her or some shit, clearly. Yeah, I feel like that's oftentimes what kills the endings of films, is people are trying to put this neat little bow on the end of a movie. And like I like movies that give you a slice and imply that no matter what happens over the course of the film, things go on, and let you kind of fill in the gaps there. I hate when movies try and wah 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 wah.
That's not how life is. There's no like wrapped bows in life.
Nope. But I've been like that since I was little. I would watch like the first 3/4 of a movie and then just be like, eh. I didn't realize why I was doing it for the longest time until I started thinking about movies critically. And I realized, like, I just hate endings. I just don't like the way that most movies wrap up. I'd rather just end them on a high point or something. I don't even really care about the sequels. Another movie that ends really well, fucking Midsummer. I love the ending of Midsummer. It's just a great way of implying that something happens without saying that it happens. Super chat. Oh shit, dog. Oh shit. Breaking Bad did nothing for you. No. Well, I didn't really try to watch Breaking Bad beyond like the first half of the first episode. I tried it like during the big kind of like, like 3 seasons or 4 seasons of it were out, and everybody was just like, Breaking Bad, Breaking Bad, Breaking Bad, blah, 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 blah. And so I fucking sat down and tried to watch the first episode, and it just depressed the fuck out of me. So I was like, all right.
So non-binary nectar, you just delayed Paul watching Breaking Bad by another
Yeah,
year.
another year. Put it off another year. I've heard it's really good from people. Like, I trust the people that I've talked to that have said that it's a decent show, but man, that fucking show just couldn't. I couldn't hang with it. Too fucking depressing.
There were episodes I like cried at for sure. There weren't even like big death episodes, but just like the rawness of like relationship tension and shit.
Yeah. Breaking Bad is good, but not as good as people say. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh to the shit. Might be depressing at the very start. At the end, you do not feel bad for him at all. That's what I've heard.
But I mean, it's depressing more than just that. Like, it's depressing, like, just looking at, like, the worst slices of humanity.
Yeah. I think that's probably, like, what I could feel that coming off of the show already. Like, the first scene of that show is him telling his family he's got cancer and that he's dying. And he's got, like, 2 months to live or some shit. And it's horrible. And I was not horrible. I mean, it's well acted and everything, but I was just like, nope. Don't want to go down this rabbit hole right now.
That's not even remotely the most depressing thing.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been told.
Yeah, because they're dropping that shoe right off the bat. You're like, oh shit, it comes out.
Can't remember who it was. I remember I was talking to somebody about Breaking Bad, and I told them the same shit. Like, it's too depressing for me. And they were like, oh, yeah, man. Well, season 3 really gets fucking pretty depressed, or whatever it was. And I was like, dude, I'm in the first episode. I got like fucking 45 minutes into the show and was like, I mean, the dude's gonna have plot armor that deflects cancer. It's not Game of Thrones. Well, sure, but I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be much of a show if the dude croaks at the end of the first episode or whatever on a ventilator. But I don't know. It just, At this point now, it's more of a meme to me than anything. Like I'm a dude that loves movies and shit and watches a lot of stuff who hasn't seen Breaking Bad. That's, you know what I mean? That's worth more to me than seeing Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it's like a calling card now.
Yep. The guy that hasn't seen Breaking Bad, Paul Zigo. The last man on the planet.
Yeah, you're gonna get osmosis like I did with Fight Club.
Yeah.
I know all the spoilers just by virtue of pop culture.
Yeah, I know already way more than I should about the show. Yeah, that was the sad thing about Game of Thrones is that it started out with such fucking promise. You know, its willingness to kill off these characters after establishing them is one of the things that makes the series a standout read. And so the show really fucking captured that in the first few seasons, and then it just kind of like slowly but surely turned into a different kind of show. I'm not gonna lie to you though, I was jazzed all the way through. I was jazzed all the way through fucking what you call it, Game of Thrones until the last season, and then I was just like, what the ever loving fuck is this?
I couldn't finish the book. Like I got too disgusted by Khaleesi and Draco. That was like first.
Oh,
thing.
they're like, yeah, they're
Their pedophile fucking thing.
The
and
pedo
that
rape.
incest thing, and I was just like,
yeah.
no. But I was like 16 or something when I tried cracking it open the first time. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like a rough scene, but it's that's, you know, if it lingered on it forever, I would have more of a problem with it. It's pretty common in dark fantasy novels and shit for shit like that to happen. Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about, bro. You're talking to a dude who doesn't know any of the characters in Breaking Bad. Bruh.
No, I think he just means Burba as Breaking Bad.
And that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I could tell he was talking about Breaking Bad and some character in it, and I just got done telling you, like, I've never seen the fucking show, bro. So who are you talking to? Who are you relaying that anecdote to? Because it ain't me. Breaking Bo Burnham, yeah. There's another one I won't watch. Nope. I can't talk about shrooms. Bo Burnham. Bubbles. Get out of here, Bubbles. Shoo. Is it still pretty warm at night? Yeah. It's finally like cooled down here tonight. We got like a nice cool breeze coming off the coastal range, which is nice.
It's still 85 though.
Yeah, 85 degrees outside. After 10 o'clock. They have a fly filter. Man, I wish they did. I'm gonna teach Amelia to use the fucking bug assault tomorrow. She wants to fucking fire it. She wants to blow away some flies. I was gonna put a notch on the handle of the gun for every fucking fly I killed, but I'd already be notched completely up. I stopped. A duck hunt version for that salt gun. What? Huh? Man, I hate reading shit and just having it make no fucking sense. It's my least favorite thing in the world. I hate when I fucking am like, I'm gonna interact with the audience. Let's wait till somebody says something. And then I look at it and it's fucking gibberish. And I read it and I get halfway through and I'm like, oh, should have ejected out of this one. Hey, you guys know you can talk, right? There's 75 of you in here and this is a chat interactive stream. You know you can speak, right? Hello? Hello?
Sleepy chat today.
Very sleepy chat. Breakdancing is in the Olympics now? That's what I think about that. The dull hum. Should video games be at the Olympics? No. Dude, competitive video games are very, very, very cringy. Almost always. I've cringed harder at competitive video game shit. Like, especially since they've started doing this, like, esports thing. They will get these dudes that are just, like, totally fucking, like, socially awkward nerds who are really good at, like, Dota or League or some shit, and they will put them in front of, like, this hot chick with a mic. And she'll be like, so how do you feel about that last game? And I can't, like, I have to change it. I can't sit and watch esports because those interviews make me cringe every fucking time. Every fucking time. I can't hang with them. There are so very few people that play esports at that level that have like a fucking have like a personality, you know. Yeah, fighting games are an exception to that. The fighting game community, I've always liked it. It gets pretty hype, but I don't really consider that to be esports. That's just like old school fighting game tourneys and shit. I mean, I know it is technically esports, but I can't watch people fucking play. I love watching like the high level play Dota or League or whatever the fuck, but I can't deal with the personalities.
Would you say that games done quick is an exception?
Yeah, I like games done quick. Some of them are cringe factories, though. I will tell you, you can get cringe bombed watching GDQ real bad. You can get it real bad. But yeah. Yeah, I like watching most of the speedrunners, but sometimes there's some real bad stuff. The Daigo parry, yeah. Unbelievable Daigo parry. I don't think I've ever seen a crowd more hype than that. If you search for the Daigo parry, you will see nerds blow the roof off of a fucking arena. Like, it literally sounds like Kurt Cobain came back from the dead or whatever and started playing a show. It's fucking insane. But I mean, I guess it's deserved. It's hype as fuck. You have opinions on esports racing? No. Yeah, dude. The Chun-Li super, was it like 8 or 9 hits? Perfect parry on each one. Ching, 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 ching. It's fucking, it's crazy. At that point, yeah, I can dig it. I can dig some fighting game stuff, but the rest of it, Street Fighter 3 is the most hyped Street Fighter. You're probably right about that. I'll watch them, but I'm kind of bored with that game. Get out of here, Bubbles. Boop, 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 boop. Psh, psh. God, there's so many of them. They need to institute a thing where you can pop the bubbles. Like I can go.
That's their only filter.
They got a ton of filters. They got a bunch of dumb crap. That's dance party crap. This dream crap. Glamour. I don't know what's glamorous about that. 8mm. Whoa. That one doesn't handle low light very well. Haunt. Holy shit. And this one. Oh god. Yeah, low light. It's not very happy with the low light.
That's just white.
Yeah. Your eyes are gone now. Yep. Burned from their sockets. As they should be. No, they don't. Flies don't have enough intelligence to know much more than, like, eat shit and die. That's about where it ends for flies. So they'll keep coming, and I'll keep shooting. Where do the flies go at night? That's what I want to know. Like, where are they at now? They were fucking everywhere today. Where are they at? They, like, go to sleep? Like, do flies sleep at night? You would think that they would be, like, up doing their thing all fucking night long, but there's not a fly out here.
They go sleepies under leaves and stuff.
They sleep under leaves. Oh. Gross. So I should just take the salt gun out there and just shoot the trees. Nasty bastards. Flies rely on sunlight. Okay. Got it. One of the kids I went to high school with is a total neat, and I'm starting to notice a trend that I first noticed with them. A lot of these people are compulsive shit talkers. Do you reckon they're related? Yeah. I mean, I've got to imagine that. Well, I guess I don't really have to imagine it. Like, I'm kind of a loudmouth on the internet, and I can attest to the fact that, you know, it does offset some of the negative feelings that you have about yourself sometimes, like pushing that negativity out there into the world. But I think that people that really have nothing going on but the internet can be some of the nastiest fucks in the world. Nothing's real to them. Like, human interaction is like a game. And that's, you know, that's different from what I was talking about. Yeah, bitterness. Lots and lots and lots of bitterness and anger and angst and a real fucking pathological desire to be perceived as smart and successful when they aren't. It's like I feel like some people. I feel like the internet affects people in different ways. Like I feel like some people hit the internet and they're like, "Whoa, this is cool," and they take a piece of themselves and they put it out there in the form of their persona or whatever. And maybe they're a little bit more extra than they would be in life, but for the most part, it's a pretty healthy interaction for them, like an extension of their personality. And then I think that some people just fall face first into it and have trouble having a personality outside of it. Because what happens here is more real to them than what happens out in the real world. They're interacting with more people here. There's more of a stake for them to be considered smart or funny or whatever here than there is a chance for them to be considered those things in real life. I feel like I'm in the first camp, but I guess I have every incentive to say that. Well, sure. I mean, I think everybody probably feels like they're in the first camp. I think a lot of people aren't. Some people do it mainly because they can. There's no immediate consequence for their actions. Well, I mean, yeah, that's what like anonymity does strange things to people. Really, really strange things to folks. Wanna go inside, D? Did you go potty?
I don't think he did, but he's just been sitting there.
All right. Okay. Dusty old D. Dirty old Dusty D. Yeah, the disconnect that the internet creates between people and social consequences contributes heavily to the toxicity. Yeah. It also contributes heavily to the fact that the internet is not useful really as a tool right now. Not really useful as an organizing tool. Most of the biggest internet loudmouths are quiet as mouses in person. You think so? Do you think so? How much of the pre-internet days do you remember? Any thoughts on how that sets up your internal view framing of interactions? I mean, I remember a lot of pre-internet days. I was fucking like 12 or 13 before the internet really became a ubiquitous thing. So I had I have a really good memory of it. I remember what it was like. Like there are things about it that sometimes hit me. Like when I was driving recently from Pismo to LA, we took a route back through the mountains to go kind of like around the 101 because the 101 is a fucking traffic nightmare from between Pismo and LA. And so we kind of cut through the coastal range down back into the valley and then up over the grapevine. And I was just thinking about it and I was like, dude, there's no way that, well, maybe not no way, but I would have had such a hard time finding this little alternate route and looking at it and deciding like, hey, this is probably better than going down the 101 before having navigation. You know what I mean? And that's one of these things that like didn't exist when I was a kid that I take totally for granted now, is that like if I'm lost, I can just grab my phone and plug an address in and my phone will literally like walk me through how to get there. That didn't used to be the way. Like if you look up an address or some shit, right, for a fucking company, and we're talking about before the internet, so you can't print out a fucking, because like before geo, whatever they call it, geopositional satellites and shit, GPS. Before they had that shit, you would go and print out like directions off of MapQuest or whatever the fuck. But before that, you didn't have shit. You had a name of a business and a street number, and your ass had to go find it. And, I can't even imagine that now. But it worked. Obviously, people found the fucking businesses and shit. It's not like people were just lost all the time before the internet. But it's one of those things that I have a hard time thinking about putting that genie back in the bottle. Like, I remember being a kid navigating for my dad on road trips. We had a map, like our detailed road map of wherever we were going, usually California. And my mom was horrible at it, so my dad would have me navigate, and I would let him, I would sit down with him before the thing started, and he would help me with a highlighter trace out our route on the map. And then it would be my job to let him know, like, all right, you got a turn coming up here in a little while. You're looking for exit 154 or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I mean, back in the day, you didn't even have that option. You couldn't search a basic version of the internet to find out how to get to a place. Like, that really didn't become ubiquitous until, like, probably after the year 2000, I would guess. I would say right around when I turned 20 or 21 is when it really started to become ubiquitous for people to, like, print out MapQuest shit. Print out, like, directions to places or get help with the internet to get somewhere. So I think about that sometimes, how different things are now. Social interaction, completely different too. You didn't have this ability to talk to people outside of your area, really. And so you had a whole lot of impetus to invest yourself socially in the people that you knew and the people that surrounded you in your neighborhood, at your school. That was your life. These were your people. These are the people that you know. And that has changed utterly. When I was a kid, the closest to that type of shit that we used to do is we used to do this pen pal program, and we used to think it was the coolest thing. But it was very deliberate. You know what I mean? Like, we had a class, and we would have this pen pal class on the other end of the country or whatever, and we would all write letters to them. Like, each one of us would be assigned a student in that other class, and we were given their name, and we would write them a letter like, "Hi, Joe. My name is PJ. I like Ninja Turtles, and I like pizza, and I like hot dogs, and I like playing soccer. What do you like to do? Thank you for being my pen pal," or whatever. And then we'd send that off, and then like a month later, we'd get notes back from them, and it was like reminding you that there were people outside of your hometown, but those interactions were we didn't take them for granted because it was rare to get to communicate with somebody that far away. I remember we had a pen pal class in Australia in one of my years. It was like, I think it was my 4th grade year, I want to say. We had a class that we were pen pals with in Australia. And we thought that was the craziest thing, talking to people in Australia. And now it's just like when I hear a fucking Aussie, I just want to turn them off. Like when I'm interacting on the internet and they're like, "Oh, mate, I fucking yeah, you want to fucking lord, yeah." I'm just like, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Aussies. I love you. I'm just fucking with you, Aussies. I don't really care, bro. You can be drunk as you want to be. Just don't get your ass banned. Oh yeah, you had to rely like that. See, things were so different. It's like neighborhoods. I've tried to explain this to people. You used to know all your neighbors. Now, I know some people still do. Like, if you live with your parents still or whatever, you got a place, you've been there a long ass fucking time, maybe you do know a couple of your neighbors or something. But I'm talking about like you used to know your fucking neighbors. You knew them, you knew their kids, you knew their families, you knew their work, where they worked, and their schedules and shit, and you looked out for each other. You the man, Paul. Thanks, Kevin. And now it's like, dude, I don't remember the last time I knew a neighbor's name, like, and had interactions with a neighbor beyond just like, hey, howdy, you know? This doesn't happen no more. I miss block parties and such, but at the same time, I really don't know my business or for them to know mine. Maybe it's a New England thing, but I prefer my solitude. Why is it that we don't know our neighbors anymore? Well, a lot of things have changed. Number one, it is harder now than it was when I was a kid for people to set up a permanent spot. So it was way more like normal back when I was a kid for people to seek out buying a little house and settling there for their whole fucking lives. Now people can't afford to do that. Now we live in a renter's society, and that paradigm has changed. And so your neighborhood is just a temporary stopping off point for you now. Like most people, when they move into a neighborhood, know that within a couple of years, they're probably going to be moving out of that neighborhood. So why invest anything into it? Why take care of anything? Why worry about the neighbors in it? You know what I mean? It's just the way that it's another way that the world has changed, I guess. Yep, a lot of people are forced to move for work or, move looking for work. It's just, it's less common for people to be able to settle down, put down roots, permanent roots or semi-permanent roots in a place anymore. Just doesn't really work that way anymore. Another big change since I was a kid, yeah. Right. I mean, of course, like you've lived in the same place your whole life, you're going to know your neighbors. But what I'm saying is that was a lot more common when I was a kid. Maybe not living in the same place your whole life, but moving into a fucking neighborhood, having a group of people that you know for years and years and years, decades. It's like here. I'll give you an example of this neighbor shit, right? So when my water went out and they were working on the well and shit. One of the things that the guy did, he went with my landlord. He was like, we're going to walk over to the neighbor real quick, and I've got a hose here. He's like, this is usually not a problem. Like, we'll hook you up to a hose, and we'll let that fill up your tank so that you can flush your toilets. He was like, usually not a problem. We'll be right back. We're just going to go hook that up. They went next door to my neighbor next door. I mean, my closest neighbor to this side, the one that I share the fence with back here, and asked them, hey, can we throw a hose over your thing? Your neighbor, we're working on their well and they can't flush their toilets. And the people straight up said no. They're like, no. I was like, the guy came back over and he was like, yeah, dude, your neighbors said no. I was like, they said no? To throwing a hose over the fence and giving me a few gallons of water so I can flush a toilet? Okay, well, I know who can go fuck themselves if they ever need something. I know whose ass can go, and I hope they can fucking hear me too. I know whose ass can go straight fuck themselves. If they ever need a goddamn thing, they better hope they never need a fucking thing from me. That's fucking ridiculous, bro. If they came over here and asked me if I owned, and I told them straight up, my landlord and the dude, I was like, that's some fucking shit. I was like, if I owned this place and these people came over and said, hey, we're having our well worked on, can you throw a hose over? Can we hook up the hose? Dude, no would come out of or yes would come out of my mouth before they even finish the sentence. It'd be so fucking easy. Yeah, hook up a hose. Go for it. Not anymore. You sit over there. You're my next door neighbor, but fuck you. I don't have a drop of water for your ass. It's like, okay. I hope they're self-sufficient over there. I hope one of their dogs doesn't fucking escape or some shit, because I'm not gonna be an understanding neighbor now. They can suck my ass. That's like telling me to go fuck myself for no reason. It's like, okay. All right, buddy. Don't come here looking for a fucking thing. Don't send your kid over here selling candy to me. I ain't got a fucking thing for you now. No. My neighbors that play the Mexican music and shit are all over that way. This is my neighbor over here. Bitch ass, punk ass fucking neighbors. I hope they can. They can't. They can't hear shit, but if they can hear me, good. Now they know not to come next door asking for fucking shit. I ain't got a cup of sugar for you. I ain't got half a cup of milk for you. I ain't got time. Burn that fucking bridge. Burn that fucking bridge without ever even meeting me. Dude, I try to meet these people. So this is my old school way. I've got to cross the street neighbors. Went over and introduced myself to them, and they thought it was the weirdest thing. They actually liked it. There are old people that live over there. And they were like, whoa. You know, we haven't had somebody new come to the neighborhood and introduce themselves. And I was like, yeah, I'd like to go meet these folks over here. You know, I went and knocked on their fucking door. Car was out in the fucking driveway and shit. They just didn't answer. Just left me sitting there knocking on the fucking door. So I was like, fuck it. All right. Fuck them. Maybe they overhear you talking and don't like what you say. Well, they can suck my dick then. This is America. They don't like what I say, they can come over here and suck my dick. I have to listen to their fucking bullshit when they're out talking and running around with their fucking dogs, barking and shit. Would that have happened when you were a kid? No. When I was a kid, if your well was being worked on and you went to your neighbor and was like, hey, can I hook up a long ass fucking hose and get a tank full of water so I can flush my toilets for the next couple of days? Maybe take a shower? They'd be like, yeah, go ahead. Now nobody knows each other. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody has common human decency at times when their neighbors are in fucking trouble. I'm still in a fucking small town. That's why this motherfucker is gonna fall to pieces, man. When the bottom comes out of this shit, you guys have no fucking clue, man. There is no common human empathy left. It's gonna be fuck you, got mine. So you better be ready to go that route. You know, this wraps around to fucking this whole like leftist owning guns thing. I'm just telling you, man. The fucking tenuous little fucking social connection that keeps us from being fucking apes in the jungle. When that shit frays, there's going to be no empathy in the world. It's going to be kill or be killed, take or get taken. It's already basically that. We're already at that point where it's like, nah, fuck you, got mine, neighbor. Bonsoir. Bonsoir, mon ami. So you better be ready for the hard scrabble, because this country has changed since I was a child. There used to be a paradigm in this country where it was like it takes a village and shit. You know, that whole takes a village to raise a child thing. That was the kind of etymology of that phrase, was the idea that, yeah, you raise your child, but your child has interactions with all these other fucking people that you know. Neighbor kids, adult neighbors, your fucking social group. That doesn't exist anymore, dude. I don't have a social group where I'm at. I don't have a single fucking family member within a mile of here. Nothing. I don't know my fucking neighbors from Adam. They won't throw a hose over my fucking, there's nothing. It's fuck you got mine. And you better be ready for that. What changed, do you think? Just desperation, the misery index, post-truth, all the shit that I spend time talking with you guys, just the degradation, environmental and otherwise. Just watching the slow unfolding fucking disaster happening around us, becoming numb to it, being pumped full of fear by the fucking media so that we fear one another. All that shit. Everything I talk about here contributed to what I'm talking about. This fuck you got mine mentality that's going to rip the whole fucking world to shreds. Already has. What do you think caused the oceans to be toxic, plastified sludge? Fuck you got mine. What do you think caused the fucking Amazon rainforest to be reduced to a place that emits more carbon than it fucking sucks out of the atmosphere? Fuck you got mine. Yeah. The fact that we shit on the homeless, build this anti-homeless architecture, paint homeless people out to be a fucking burden, run them out of town on a rail, fucking round them up and take them to jail for vagrancy and shit. Fuck you. Got mine. You guys think that's gonna fucking change? Of course it's a real thing. You think as shit gets worse, that's gonna get better? The societal fuck you got mine? It's gonna get worse. Dude, the he ain't heavy, he's my brother fucking mentality has been dead for a long time, bro. The idea that you see a person in need and you lift that person up and help them up to their feet somehow. Still happens. I'm not saying that there's no kindness or kind people in the world. I'm just saying that overall, those people are the minority. And that's all you need to know. I don't call anybody for help. You want to know the fucking truth? I don't even bother. I've given up on it. I help myself. Dude, that shit fucking That shit put me in a mood. This shit has put me in a mood. This discussion has put me in a fucking mood. How can you not be angry about what's been stolen from you? I want you to think about that shit. A reasonable life has been stolen from you. And your replacement life is this digital bullshit. This online world where nothing is real, where you get to pretend that you have fucking balls, where you get to pretend that you have a fucking point, but you don't. Think about what's been ganked from you. A life. Relationships, people, lessons. We had nothing in the first place. That's a lie, bro. That's a lie. That's a lie that people tell themselves now to justify the emptiness that they feel. Nope. I don't live my life with regret. I don't allow regret to creep itself into my fucking life. Everything I've done has been a learning experience for me. Everything I've done has led to what I am now. I don't regret a fucking thing. Every lesson that I've learned, every fuck up was all worth it. It put me right here. Wouldn't take it back. Do it all again. That's a liberating thing. It's one of the most important things that I was set down the fucking road of in therapy. There's a difference between regret and reflection. And I used to not know that. I reflect on how things used to be with me. I reflect on those things. I don't regret those things. I don't believe anyone doesn't regret anything. I used to pretend it myself. It's a pretend therapy tactic. Nothing is true. All right, buddy. Whatever you say. Whatever you got to do to get through your day. What's the biggest thing I look forward to going forward in life? I don't know. Just seeing how it plays out. That may sound like silly or trite. Dude, my life has been a fucking story. I want to see how it plays out. Jesus. This train is a rattle trap. Fuck. all the way to the end of the line where I gotta be. Trains in America sounds like it's 100 years old. Yeah, I know. Literally the same sound that people used to hear on the fucking Old West Prairie and shit. Hasn't been updated. What a fucking nightmare. Doom, doom, doom. Some real change, huh? Oh, dude, I'll tell you how some real change happens right now. The virtue signaling squad has decided to go on vacation, but pretend like they didn't want to go on vacation. Dude, we ran as quick as we could, but damn it, they let the house go out on vacation. But we really try to get there, guys. We try to get there in time. You see this shit? We really think that we should have done something in Congress about the rent moratorium before we went on fucking whatever this break is. Like, what break is this that Congress is going on? Can somebody tell me that? Yep, break to go raise some re-election money. You know how they could raise some re-election money? Doing some shit for people. Actually fucking doing something for people. I bet that would be better re-election fucking campaigning than running around your state promising people you're gonna do shit that you promised you were gonna do 2 years ago when they elected you. Ending the filibuster is a double-edged sword, bro. I'm fine with doing it, but you better be prepared to reap the consequences, because if you think the fucking Congress isn't about to flip back to the Republicans and they won't take advantage of that new rule, yeah. The end of this rent moratorium may very well be the pin that pops the housing bubble, which is going to destroy a whole swath of people in America. It's going to absolutely upend every penny that they have. People are going to be massively underwater on properties that aren't worth half what they paid for them. It's happened in 2008. It's about to happen again. It's going to compound the pain that's still there from 2008, because make no bones about it, the 2008 economic crash, we're still feeling the echoes of that as people. And it's about to happen again. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be the big one. See, this is a potential tipping point. So looking forward now, we all know we're kind of teetering on the edge of a giant fucking collapse, and it's like, what's going to be the tipping point? What's going to cause it? What's going to cause the house of cards that is the fucking global marketplace to come crashing down? What exactly is the housing bubble? You'd probably have to go to an economist to get a fully fucking lucid description of it. Let's just say that house prices are inflated and mortgages are over leveraged to the point where a massive amount of people are found in a position where they can no longer afford to have their homes, and the price of houses goes through the fucking basement when this bubble pops, and people that paid 500 grand for their house are now paying 500 grand mortgage level money for a house that's worth $120,000. This type of shit happened all over the fucking country. People literally underwater on their mortgages. People that paid equity into their fucking house for 15, 20 years went underwater. So I don't know. I think it has the potential to be a tipping point, but whether this will be the tipping point, I don't know. We'll get through it. Yeah, bro, we'll get through it. We'll get through that, plus climate collapse, plus the coming resource wars. We'll get through it, bro. We'll be fine, man. It's gonna be great. Everything's fucking gravy train with biscuit wheels, bro. No need to worry. You're right. What, me worry? Come on. Tell me why this is the land of confusion. I think you know why, buddy. I think you know. Paul's future government will somehow inevitably never turn to conservative ideology and can simultaneously enact leftist policies without encumbrance. Let's just pretend human error doesn't exist. Who are you, Gray? What's your fucking, what's your beef, bro? Are you a lib? Reveal yourself. Take off the cloak. Are you a lib? Are you a Nancy Pelosi worshiper? Are you a Joe Biden ice cream slurper? Are you a push him left person that's now salty that nobody did anything to push him left and he's governing to the right of Donald Trump in a lot of cases? Is that what's going on? Why are you here bullying me? Why don't you go bully Biden and the squad? If you believe in these people, you believe that they're going to get shit done. Why aren't you fucking over there barking up their tree? Why are you ever barking up mine? You ever ask yourself that question, buddy? You ever ask yourself, why do I spend fucking hours and hours typing paragraphs of shit to this dude and not paragraphs of shit to the people that I believe in? Where you at, buddy? Let's talk. Let's find out where you're coming from, and then me and you will have a fucking discussion. You want to leave me another fucking snide paragraph, though, without talking about what you are, I'm going to ban your fucking ass. So what are you? Where you stand? Yeah, it's a carceral crisis, bro. It's a concentration camp. It's a carceral crisis. Crickets, of course. Chirp, 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 chirp. Ooh, sorry about that, baby.
I apologize.
I don't know. I know it's loud as fuck.
That goddamn.
I didn't mean to spookle you.
Is it spicy?
Yeah, it's spicy. God bless you, sir. the housing market doesn't crash within the next 10 and 20 years and paying $1 million for a home just becomes the new normal for people, well, then that just effectively makes it impossible for the average person to ever own a home. And we will become a society of landlords and renters. We're already there. We're already at the point where functionally your average person is priced out of owning a home for their family. So people are forced to rent apartments. People are forced to rent homes from people. And that's just going to get worse and worse.
Remember that BlackRock story? They were buying up a bunch of homes.
Yep.
One of BlackRock's people is the top economic advisor for Kamala Harris.
Sweet. Sweet.
And you're wondering why if they fucking just adjourned Congress,
Yep.
their rent moratorium.
Yep. Congress is adjourned. Paul, why do you call the DNC corrupt, even though there's no proof? I'm not even going to waste my time with that. Like, if you don't think that there's proof of corruption in the DNC, I don't know what to tell you, boy. Corrupt. Dude, it's too corrupt. Where did Gray go? He just kind of like poofed. He got attention, but not the kind he wanted. It's like, well, what? You want to talk about me and where I stand? I'm out. Lurker mode engaged. Pussy. Yeah, he'll show up in the comment section. He'll be down in the comment section tomorrow. It's funny how one of the most guaranteed ways to scare one of these types of people away that think they have a fucking political position is just to ask them what they believe. It's like a reset button for these people. It's like, huh? What do I believe? What do I believe? What do I advocate for? Gray has left the chat.
Like, why don't you do something? It's like, why don't you do something, bitch?
Yeah. What are you over here barking at me for? Did you go do something, bitch? Yeah, Jizzy Jeff is not worth your time. And go ahead and ban him if he pipes up again. I don't stream on Twitch, no.
Masters of Twitch are too cool.
Yep.
Whipping.
I would get fucking dunked within a week of being on Twitch, I'm pretty sure.
That and just the schedule thing is stupid.
Yeah.
I could have already been unpartnered on Twitch. Could have been a tricky end.
Yep. I think that's part of the problem of the internet in general, highlighting this guy that was throwing paragraphs at me and then finally got my notice and disappeared. Nobody has any skin in the game anymore. It's just a place where you throw a hot take out and just let it marinate. And it doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong or people like it or don't, because there's a billion other fucking hot takes on the way. It's just become a masturbatory fantasy. It makes politics a masturbatory action. I'll be adding other people in my chat.
I've lost all tolerance for
Yep.
it. It never only
It's never.
happens once.
Nope. It's never. It's done. If you at somebody in my, that's just gonna have to be added to the fucking implicit rules of this place. You at somebody with a big long paragraph of shit that ain't at me. This is not a social club. This is not a place for you to socialize and meet with one another. You see somebody you want to fucking talk to, take it to DMs. It's in there. Good. Read it. Abide by it. I don't want to see another fucking paragraph of at somebody else with some shit I'm not even fucking talking about, bro. This is not a social club. This is not the Buena Vista Social Club, okay? It's not a place for you to kick back and light up a cigar and have a fucking casual chat with everybody in the chat. What TJ said about Paul yesterday made me smile. What did he say about Paul yesterday? The thing I noticed about my parents' boomer generation is that they are a lot more optimistic than my generation. Kids my age seem to be embodied with a sense of hopelessness in the future. Yeah. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, well, the boomer generation got to squander the last of the American workers' fucking power, and, you know, that's where their optimism comes from. They had every reason to be optimistic. Things were looking up for the boomers. Things are not looking up for the Zoomers. Boomers just feel left behind like every old generation does. They don't know why the same shit that worked on them doesn't work on their children. You know, the political fucking platitudes and shit, the old school politics and stuff, that shit just doesn't work anymore. The boomers had it way easier. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say easier. You had to work for your fucking money back then. You gotta work for it now. They were just better compensated for their labor.
Lower cost of living.
Yep. I think we can prepare for that situation ourselves to not be so obstinate in archaic beliefs with social mores change in our old age, assuming we get to make it there. I don't know what the answer to that is. I mean, I'm doing my best to do that now, to try and, you know, at least keep an eye on the generations that come up after me in terms of what they believe and what's important to them. But it's going to happen to you. It happens to everybody. Everybody gets left behind as they get older, especially in a society like ours that worships youth. You know, I already feel it sometimes. The whole neat conversation that we've had back and forth here has just highlighted for me that there's a generational divide in how people think about autonomy. And in my opinion, it's a negative change because I see it destroying people's lives. And that's really at the core of it. I see people sitting at home making excuses and not flourishing as people as a result, not learning how to interact, allowing their diagnoses to rule their lives. So, one of the ways that you deal with having a mental disorder is that one of the tactics that you use is called flooding. So it means that if you're a major depressive and you feel like doing nothing but laying in bed all day, you force yourself to not do that. It's called flooding yourself with the opposite of what your brain is telling you to do, right? People don't do that anymore. Now people sit at home and use their diagnosis as an excuse to never develop beyond their teen years. To give you an example, those of you that watched the Patrons Highdeology last night, we spent pretty much the whole time covering. It's either one person or two people. I really don't know. But at least one of the people that we covered was a 34-year-old dude who is living at home with his mother, by his own admission, with ADHD as his excuse. But he's got the time to make video after video after video after video after video about me, but doesn't have the time to put in some fucking applications and go get a job. And as such, he's developed this little internal kingdom that he rules over, that he thinks matters outside of himself, but it doesn't. What matters is that he's sitting in his fucking bedroom, draining his mother's resources with no plan for his future. That's really what matters. But he's circumvented what really matters in his life and replaced it with this pompous, Dunning-Kruger political shit, where he listens to people that are smarter than him, recontextualizes those people's arguments, and then presents them smugly to the world. And that's his whole life. His whole life is wrapped up in, how do I make myself look smart on the internet? Not, how do I be smart so that I can go get a job and maybe get a wife or a boyfriend or something. Have some normal human interaction, have a group of real life friends that I go out with every once in a fucking blue moon, have a car, have a house, like all these fucking things that people claim that don't matter are developmental things that matter. Having autonomy matters as a human being. If you think it doesn't,
you talk to mental health professionals and they try to get their patients like out into the worlds. They don't talk to someone with depression and say, all right, just stay in your house all day.
There was somebody that responded on the subreddit who seemed pretty credible. Everybody's a fucking doctor on the internet these days. But they went into pretty long detail, made a long post on the subreddit about this neat shit. And they said that they worked in the Appalachian area, the Rust Belt range or whatever the fuck, and their job was, they were a social worker. And they work with people who have mental health problems in an attempt to get them to take some actions that are positive in their life so that they can start building up their self-esteem and get out into the world and blah, 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 blah. And this person said unequivocally that it is the people who have the higher functioning diagnoses that are the hardest to get into the workforce. According to this person, the people that are what they call, and this person says, and I agree, they don't like low functioning, but the people on the end of the spectrum where they have more severe autism or more severe mental problems are absolutely, according to this person, committed to trying to get a job. And then people that have relatively mundane diagnoses like major depression, high functioning autism, this person claims that those people are the hardest people to get into the workforce because they literally have been raised to use their diagnosis as an excuse for why they can't.
It's one of the best ways to manage your symptoms is to have a routine and shit.
Yep.
Obligations outside of yourself.
Flooding. It's another thing. So you have anxiety about being out around people or working a job. You've got anxiety about a job. Do you know how you get over that? It's not sitting in your room fucking wringing your hands over it and never doing anything about it. You go work a job and you see, oh my God, this isn't as bad as I thought it was. You know, I can do this. I can make I can make a fucking coffee drink, or I can flip a burger, or I can fucking wash a car, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Another way of putting it is called exposure therapy, for sure. My counselor called it flooding, but it's the same thing. I was trained that way by my school. My school set me and other autistic kids up to work at handy camps and get welfare. I refused, took a different route. Sure. If retiring at 33 for 2 years taught me anything, it's that even if you have all your needs met financially, you still need to accomplish stuff to feel good about yourself at the end of the day, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you can't. And that's part of the problem, I think, with NEETs, is that they are living in a fantasy world where all their needs, their basic needs, are fulfilled for free. And they've realized that through some combination of language games and self-disempowerment, that they can remain in this position of functional childhood. And I really think that that is at the center of a lot of this. I've seen it in my life. I know people that are like this. I have known people that are like this. They are so afraid of being adults that they infantilize themselves. They play act as adults on the internet. They will go out and talk to adults and engage with adults in conversation. But typically, unfortunately, despite the fact that a lot of them are very intelligent, they tend to be a drag on that conversation because what they're talking has no basis in experience. It's one thing to talk about labor. It's another thing to talk about labor as a laborer. And people don't understand this. They want to run with a hot take that they learned from somebody else. And look, that's not always bad. Look, you go to a smarter person, you learn something from them, you incorporate it into your own personal philosophy. There's nothing wrong with that. But if that's all you're doing,
people try to like make it as like, oh, I'm just protesting against the capitalist system. It's like you don't do it by never participating in it. You have to participate in it to protest it.
well, here's the thing. They are participating in it. Even those people that are sitting at home, they're participating in it. They're participating in using their mother's labor to engage in capitalism. Their mother has to engage in capitalism so that they can eat their ramen noodles and play their video games. Okay? So there's no, like this whole like, I'm fucking taking a stand against capitalism. No, you're not. You're a fucking impetus for capitalism. If your mom stops working, she can't support you anymore. You're functionally making sure that capitalism goes forward with your existence. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I consider anybody that works for a living to be part of the labor space. And street musicians work for a living. Buskers work for a living. It's a non-traditional job, to be sure. But, well, I guess it's really not all that non-traditional. I mean, troubadours and bards and shit like that, you know, they've been around for fucking ever. Traveling poets and artists and shit. Absolutely. You work for $1 and a dime, you're a part of the labor space in my mind, yeah.
I think probably the focus is probably needs to be more on like employees of a employer.
Sure. I mean, well, those people have to organize differently.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that people that are in Phoebe's position can't support that type of action, but Phoebe would be much more useful as a labor agitator working it from the inside of Amazon, right? That's just if she was trying to agitate for Amazon employees, right? Your voice means more when you work a place. So, yeah, I mean, that's true. But you're still a worker. Well, a lot of times what I've noticed is that these people lacking an actual outlet, lacking an actual impetus to develop socially, put all of their effort and time into developing an online persona. And they present themselves as learned, smart, educated. They can be whatever they want to be. And they spend all of their time cultivating this online persona that means absolutely nothing in the real world. If they literally take one step off their stoop and into the street, everything that they spend their whole day doing becomes for zip. You literally cannot walk up to a motherfucker on the street and take that kind of fucking experience and do anything with it. So it's functionally useless. Life for these people has been turned into a video game. How long can I sit and do exactly what I want? How long can I avoid the crushing weight of responsibility for myself?
I think with all these like diatribes they do on the internet, they try getting like a writing job or something.
And they could. That's the thing. Is like,
if you look at these news sites, their fucking grammar's garbage. There's not like a huge high bar for writing.
I mean, there's any number of things that these people could do that would be fruitful in their lives and actually put them out in a way that forces them to, at the very least, develop their own personality. Mm-hmm. But they don't. They're absolutely terrified of cutting that umbilical cord. And I think a lot of that has to do, I mean, we talked about helicopter parenting here before. I think that trend has a lot to do with this. This idea that you just hover over your child, you baby them their entire fucking lives, and then you end up with a 34-year-old baby living with you. You know? I mean, that shit is like too real, too true. Most modern work isn't just responsibility for yourself, though. If I was working enough to just pay my bills, I'd be working a whole lot less hours. Well, that's your choice, isn't it? I'm not sure what your fucking contention is. You'll have to go into more detail than that. Writers, dude, fucking court reporters. You know how much money court reporters make? You go to a court reporting school, you learn how to fucking type in whatever they call it, shorthand.
Yeah, it's like a...
Oh, shit.
Roach test.
Roach test 1. Got him.
He's still crawling?
He fell. He's down here, yeah. He's stunned. That's a dead roach. 4 shots it took, but that's a dead-ass roach.
Oh, that's your squished one.
Yeah, that's the fucking totem I left for the rest of them. Knocked him off the wall, stunned him, killed him right on the ground. Salted to death. Yeah. You know what, dude? I'm not going to make the fucking horror movie thing. You're not playing possum on me. You're dead. Okay. He ain't coming back now. He's dead. Just making sure. Somebody said double tap in the fucking comment, and I was like, you know what? You're right. A roach will flip upside down and pretend it's still alive or dead and then run away. I don't want that. Yeah, that's zombie rule number 1, double tap.
bug assault on spiders unless it's like a black widow or something. If it's just like a normal chill spider, they'll catch flies. Give it a try.
Okay. Off you go.
Someone asked if we'd use it on spiders. It's like if it was a black widow, maybe,
Yeah,
but
dude.
not like a normal spider.
No. Normal spiders are my friends. If I see a widow out here, I'm definitely going to use it, but
I'd probably get a boot to be safe.
no.
No, yeah,
I want,
the
dude,
widow.
I could salt the widow. One good blast from this fucking thing, she ain't getting up. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. How close do you have to be to get a good shot? I mean, pretty close, I guess.
Yeah, like maybe like 4 feet is probably the ideal range.
Yeah.
Seems like, except for that roach. That roach had to be point blanked, but.
Yeah. That roach needed a little extra TLC, but we got him. But yeah, for a roach, I'd say you got to be probably like a foot or less, and then for a fly, 4 or 5 feet max. I think the farthest away one that I've pegged is probably there on the chair from here, and that's probably what, 3.5, 4 feet, maybe a little more. Dude, you could salt your food with the gun if you wanted. It'd be a pretty swag way to fucking throw some salt on your fries, I'll tell you that. You don't need a scope. It's got sights. It's got iron sights. So that's what I use. I have not commented on the Christine Chandler thing. I don't really know what I can add to it. It's I have for a long time been an advocate of leaving that person the fuck alone. And the internet just doesn't seem to want to do it. And now I don't know, just some shit has gone down that's fucking just gross. And I can't help but think that the internet and the trolls and the people that have just constantly scrutinized this person their whole life made them this weird celebrity, have some fucking role to play in the things that have gone down. And that's the thing, is like, this audio has come out of Christine Chandler, or Chris Chan, as she's known more colloquially on the internet, admitting to having incestuous sex with his 80-something-year-old dementia-addled mother. The problem with this, of course, outside of the obvious, is that it's happened multiple times in the past that people have gaslit Chris Chan and forced Chris Chan to confess to things or to do things in order to not have them tell that they did this or did that, or reveal some naked picture that they got under false pretenses or whatever the fuck. And so the whole internet is running with this: Chris Chan actually did this shit. Maybe he did. Or maybe she did. Maybe they did. But given what I know about the history of this fucking person and how they've been gaslit for over a fucking decade on the internet, going on 15 years now, I know that it's absolutely possible that this is just some kind of troll op. So who knows? Like, I don't know. But this is the reason why I think this family should have been left alone fucking 15 years ago. And the internet has absolutely ruined this fucking person. Has created a monster out of this fucking person. And it's sad and it's exploitative. And if this shit did go down between this person and their dementia-addled mother, it's even more fucking sad. It's like the saddest capstone to this story I can think of outside of murder. Well, the parents ruined Chris, yeah, but if you're gonna deny the role in the fucking trolls play, you're gonna deny that having people fucking gaslight this person who's clearly mentally disabled, clearly has trouble defining reality and fantasy and the borders between, and you're gonna tell me that constant gaslighting over 15 years has nothing to do with what this person did? I'm gonna call fucking straight bullshit on that, bro. Straight bullshit. I've heard what these people did to this person. Some of the most fucking ridiculous shit that you can imagine. Yep. She was blackmailed and coerced and gaslit into doing horrible things, sending sexual pictures of herself to people, doing horrible, degrading things while people giggled at her in private fucking chats. Has been gaslit in public. So not just like online catfished or whatever and gaslit that way, but literally catfished in public with somebody who took it all the way to like meeting her in public, secretly recording the whole interaction, and then at the end of it making a big joke to make fun of Chris Chan. Using these fake relationships that they set up with this person who, once again, is clearly mentally disabled. So they would have like a woman gaslight and catfish him into believing that she was in a relationship with him and then it was real, and then get him to send naked pictures of himself and then just post it and just show everybody his dick or show everybody him doing whatever ridiculous sexual stunt they asked him to do. And because the person is fucking... Chris was a creep though, so with the pickle, man, I have no empathy. Whatever, dude. See, this is my problem. You shouldn't be in a position where you have to decide whether or not you have empathy for a mentally retarded person. Like, you shouldn't be in a position where your ass feels like it's your job to sit and judge what a mentally disabled person does. Like, that's the problem, is that you and a fucking 1.5 million other people have been so obsessed with this person for 15 fucking years that some people within that group have gone way over the line into criminal fucking activity to troll this person. Way over that fucking line. Not even just like gray area, kind of like, oh man, that's a little far. Straight out illegality, revenge porn, blackmail, all this shit, right? Who said rape? Who's joking about rape? If that was aimed at me, you can keep your fucking mouth shut. And if that was aimed at somebody else in here, refer to the rules. Don't come in here wagging your fucking finger at me, bro. What situation? So that's what I have to say about that. I think the people exploiting this situation and treating it like it's a big bunch of drama are forgetting that there is a fucking horribly gaslit, abused, mentally deranged person and a fucking old lady with dementia who actually exist in this. They're actually real people that exist. And so as gleeful as you are to partake in the internet's fucking once again scrutinizing every little part of fucking Chris Chan's life, be forewarned before you take a position on this shit. Because if you're not aware of the extent to which this person has been gaslit and blackmailed in the past, I would not be surprised if some aspect of this is that. Would you consider inceldom as being a marginalized person? Can a fundamentally unlikable personality be considered a disorder? No. I think a lot of people that call themselves incels have underlying disorders, but I don't think inceldom is a disorder. When it comes to the whole incel thing, a long time ago, I gave like a rant on the show that I think still stands, which is that all you really have to do to find a person in this world, and when I say find a person, I don't mean just to fuck, I mean to have a relationship with. That may include fucking. All you have to do is work on yourself. That's it. You don't have to be a perfect person. You don't have to look perfect. You don't have to have the clearest, smoothest skin or the best body or anything. All you have to do is just be a person that cares enough about themselves to work on themselves and to know who they are, or at least have an idea where they're going. That's it. That's it. Period. If you can do that, there is somebody out there for you. But yeah, if your whole fucking life is sitting in a puddle of your own sweat playing World of Warcraft and bitching about how a woman won't come to you and suck your dick, that's never going to happen. There's just, maybe it does for some people. But I wouldn't I wouldn't play that lotto. That's it. You just got to work on yourself. You got to try and be better. You got to try and better yourself. You got to show that you have some desire to grow as a person, and then you will attract another person. I really think the only thing that really precludes a relationship is utter and complete stagnation. Those relationships, people that live under that paradigm that get into relationships, those relationships go nowhere. And most of the time they can't get into a relationship in the first place. That's it. Simple shit, right? Easier said than done, for sure, but yeah, work on yourself. Care about how you look, care about how you dress, care about how people perceive you. Learn the personality quirks that you have that are off-putting to people and try and work on them.
That's a good point. Like, incel and virgin are different things. Incel is like someone that's resigned themselves to eternal failure.
Yep. Becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy with them.
Yeah.
I will never.
Incels that are like 19 or some shit.
It's like get out, dude. Yeah, no, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Dude, the stinkiest fucking pheromone that you can put out is the I will never get laid pheromone. It causes you to be so unattractive to other people. because you have no fucking self-esteem at all. You just put out this like, I'm unwantable, I'm unlovable, and it becomes self-fulfilling. Nobody wants to be around a person who's just doesn't know who they are, doesn't care who they are. Courtship, dude. Courtship. How far does the goalpost need to be moved, though? What about an incel who's a homeowner and fully independent? What if they get into shape and are still unable to find a partner after that as well? I mean, bro, I don't know. Show me this person.
I mean, you gotta work on yourself mentally, too.
Right.
Like, you can have all the fucking, like, set decoration of a perfect life, but if you don't have yourself worked on, then...
People can sense that in you. Like, you can't skip the line to being an autonomous person. You can't skip the line to being a fully fledged individual who has some idea what they are. You have to do the work to get there. So if you just paint by the numbers and end up with a gym bod and a 9-to-5 and a little house on the prairie or something, that does not mean that somebody's going to come hop your dick. That's it. Notice I didn't say anything about looking a certain way. I said care how you look. That doesn't mean fucking you got to have a beach bod or some shit. Obviously.
It just means, like, yeah, don't go out with a booger on your face and shit.
Wash your fucking ass and, like, don't stink and, comb your hair. Wear clean clothes. Don't go out with a big grease stain. Fucking wear a clean shirt.
Dude, even people that don't do that get laid.
It's true, but, I mean, like, that's a good place to start. Is cleaning it up. If you have to start a message with "my bad for this being off topic," you're banned. I don't want to see you here again. Just trying to remind people that it's unfair to assume everyone who has difficulty in that particular regard is an unkempt, socially inept mess up. It's unfair to more people than we think. Yeah. I get what you're saying, but I think Amelia fucking hit the nail on the head. It's not just about presentation. It's like you can wrap a turd beautifully in a beautiful fucking package, but it's still a turd, and people can smell the turd in the box. So if you've got like a reasonably together life and reasonably together grooming, but you're a fucking basket case, or you're somebody who doesn't know how to work on themselves, or doesn't know how to open themselves up to people, doesn't know how to be empathetic to people, doesn't know how to fucking socialize, hasn't taken the time to learn the flow of conversation. If you're a person like that, you're going to be just as off-putting as somebody who shows up reeking like a pig. In fact, maybe even more so. Because as Amelia said, people that reek get fucked every day. So, what's your excuse? You really telling me? And I think with a lot of these dudes too, and when I say dudes, I know that they're like femcells or whatever the fuck, but it's way more rare. So I think with a lot of these dudes, it's all about standards. Dude, if a dude has got himself together, got a job, looks pretty decent, got a house, got a car of his own, and he's still not getting pussy, it's probably because he thinks he's going to date Christy Brinkley. Or fucking, I don't know who's hot now. Sorry, I'm a boomer. Who's fucking hot now?
I don't know. I keep just only thinking of, like, Disney Channel girls, like fucking Selena Gomez and shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of them.
Top of my head.
Yeah. Billie Eilish? I don't think Billie Eilish is like a sex symbol, is she?
I think doesn't she like specifically try to not be a sex symbol?
Her whole thing is like wearing baggy shit so she doesn't have a shape, so she doesn't get looked at that way, right? Who's the bang boom pow right now? Cardi B. I think a lot of these dudes think they're gonna fucking go get a model hot chick. And it's just like, dude, you're not guaranteed. And it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility. I've seen model hot chicks with some funky looking dudes, but I think a lot of it has to do with these fucking standards. Yeah, dude, Instagram models that have like subtly edited their shit to make their asses and fucking waist proportion completely impossible. You like I've seen these Instagram things where like women that look totally normal will all of a sudden pose themselves in a certain way and they just look completely different. You know what I mean? It's like it's showing off just like that's your standard is somebody that looks like that 24 fucking 7 and that person doesn't exist. And the few of them that do exist are celebrities and shit dating Kanye West. You don't get to fuck them. You know? Like, so if you have this impossibly high standard of attractiveness because you've spent your whole life watching porn on the internet, these women that are like sculpted out of plastic, and then you go out into the real world and you can't find a Barbie doll to fuck you, you think that's an incel problem? No.
Or some of these incels will be like, oh, I don't want a slut. They like have those standards. Like she should be a virgin too.
It's just like the ridiculousness. You're just compounding the problem by having all these ridiculous fucking standards that you put on a person before you even get into a relationship, before you even know they exist. Think about how unattractive that is. So as you meet a person, they have a fucking list of 50 standards that they have to meet. And you don't think that's going to come bleeding out of your conversation and shit?
Or even like you looking at them. Like
Yep.
You're scrutinizing everything about them. They're going to look like a fucking creep.
Exactly. Nobody wants to be made to feel like they've got 50 fucking perfect standards that they have to meet for some fucking incel. It's just not going to happen. Those guys don't realize that's not the kind of girl you really want, even when you can get them. Plastic bitches are exhausting. I've never dated one, so I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I've never been attracted to one. You know what I mean? Outside of a cursory, like, glance at the yoga pants or whatever the fuck. But personality is so intrinsic to me being attracted to somebody. It's first personality and then everything else. So, you know, people like that are just vapid and have nothing but self-interest. You got to be interested in something for me to be attracted to you. You've got to have like a personality. Yep. I would fuck Admiral Akbar right here because he's got a good personality. Got to dial back the lizard brain a little. This isn't even lizard brain, dude. For me, lizard brain is like, I'm going to fuck as many things as I possibly can and have like as little standards as I possibly can. That's lizard brain. This is like incel brain. This is like, my standards are so high that I can never meet them, therefore I can't get laid. And then they start getting into this fucking weird world of like, I'm owed a hot girlfriend. Every man should be issued a woman. You should just go to the whorehouse at 18 and just pick whichever hot one you think, and they become your wife. Dude, I can't think of something. Dude, if I had a pussy, I can't think of something that would dry it up faster than somebody that literally thought that. A lot of uber attractive people have whack personalities because they never needed to develop one, but there are a few good ones. Of course. I mean, you can't judge a book by its cover, ever. But you're right. There are people for whom their attractiveness is a social lubricant to the point where, like, they don't know what to do without it. There's this great Jim Can't Swim video about a woman named Dahlia Dippolito. It's one of my favorite ones. She was gaffled up in a police sting because she tried to have her husband killed. She ended up reaching out to somebody that she knew and asking, hey, get my husband killed or whatever. And that person went to the cops like any normal person would and went like, hey, this bitch just called me up and asked me to kill her fucking husband. And so the cops were like, all right, let's get some fucking evidence on her. And so they had her go forward and meet this whole fucking dude that was an undercover cop. She sits down in the car and talks about how she wants the dude murdered and how much money and blah. It's clear. They get her in the interrogation room. And at this point, Jim, through Kazoom, says, this is probably the first time in Dahlia's life where her attractiveness isn't going to help her at all. And she doesn't realize it. She's having trouble understanding that what has gotten her through her life isn't going to work here. And so she just refuses to believe it. She just continuously denies that she did what she did. Even though they've got video, they bring in the dude that she fucking hired. And then he goes, hi, I'm a cop.
Yeah. Granted, they trolled her too. Like, she thought the plane had already gone down. Her husband was already dead. That's how they got her in the room.
Mm-hmm. They played her like a fucking harp from hell. And it's just true. There are people that they coast on that shit. Dahlia Dippolito is her name. The Jim Can't Swim video is the curious case of Dahlia Dippolito. Really worth a watch.
Yeah, that's like the only time I've supported cops lying to a suspect.
I mean, dude, when you got somebody that dead to rights, go for it. She got off, too. That's the crazy fucking thing, is that she ended up not going to jail. I mean, she went to jail for a long time while she was awaiting trial, but she ended up somehow getting the case thrown out, or I can't remember how it all fucking ends up, but it's crazy. I know that much. Her looks got the case thrown out, probably. Yeah, dude, she used her one phone call to call her husband and gaslight him.
No, she didn't get out.
She didn't? Oh, okay.
She's after 3 trials and 2 convictions.
Okay.
So maybe the first trial she got off.
Right, yeah, maybe that's what I heard. I'm glad. Yeah. Good she's in jail. Good.
Yeah, she is in jail. For
she should be. She should be in jail.
That was as of 2020, so unless she doesn't fucking appeal.
Who knows? Crazier things have happened. I'm too hot to be here in jail. Another one of those was, what was that? What's her name? Not Casey Anthony, although that's another example of this. I'm thinking of the woman that killed that dude. It's another Jim Can't Swim fucking video. She's just like a really attractive woman who brutally murdered this guy. Jodi Arias, yeah. It's another example of somebody who thinks that their attractiveness and weird fucking personality quirks are going to carry them through a murder investigation. I made the beat that murdered it. Casey Anthony. That's a mean line. Dude, I saw a video of, I think it was on one of these fucking reality shows or some shit. So I guess maybe I should take it with a grain of salt, but it looked real. This super, like, well, I guess, whatever, traditionally hot woman, probably, in her early 20s or whatever. And she's sitting there talking to a dude about how she feels like even if they break up, he should keep paying for her car and let her live in the fucking apartment and shit. I was like, are you fucking kidding me, bro? You being serious right now? So hotness does fucking, it helps, but it's not necessary. Snap, crackle, pop. Snap, crackle, pop. Plastic surgery is a better investment than a college education. Damn. Well, I don't hate the player. You got to get yours. I got to get mine. For women, yeah. Link the channel. Yeah, go ahead. It's a bonfire. Turn the lights out. Killing everything you motherfuckers talk about. Huh? Why are we talking about Michael Jackson now? Tree factories? You're on my radar, tree factories. I'm just letting you know. My fucking radar blips every time you post. I've been ignoring you all night. Just boom. And it cycles around. Boom. We got a bogey about 250 meters out. I'm watching you. Just letting you know. What do you think of Da Baby's comments recently? Absolutely fucking nothing, bro. I really don't give a fuck what celebrities say. I really don't. What's a Da Baby? Dude, you got me, bro. Da Baby. Yeah, that's a real person, bro. That's a guy that's out there doing things and making a lot of money, unfortunately. Da Baby's a meme. He's the guy. Oh, there's a Lil Da Baby on the way. Oh shit! And the great wheel just keeps on turning, doesn't it? The wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Good shit. Back feels better. Dude, I know that's not a mosquito. Go get fried, mosquito. Yeah, that's right. Da Baby was an animatronic dinosaur. He was a dinosaur puppet back in the day. You're right. Not the mama. Oh, sorry. Sorry I keep stretching, but my back is fucked. And I'm getting some good stretches now because I'm good and stoned. Whew. Should try swimming. Dude, I was poor as a kid, and I have a bad back. I'm out of here.